Honest J Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to HJN. So today, why don't I go on ahead and talk about a really big something that we have pretty close to our planet. Though not quite as close as to planets like Mercury and Venus, I'm going to be talking about the Sun. The supergiant gas ball of helium and solar power is definitely the Sun. Solar energy, amongst all sorts of things out there, are especially becoming the biggest thing to have in terms of energy-based consumption. There's been a lot of solar-powered lighting, a lot of solar-powered utilities, appliances, all that good stuff that seem to come by when it comes to using our own sun as a way to power them all. And at the same time that the sun can also power up our vitamin D intake, and it also provides a pretty good way of getting ourselves some helium, even though helium can be a bit hard to come by here on Earth. And that's only because there are a lot of energy in hydrogen, nitrogen, and some other gas-related molecules that can be found within the Earth's soil. But for the most part, our sun does happen to have a lot of good things about it, because aside from the usage of solar power and the usage of helium, it does in fact happen to be the ultimate light to our planet's daytime. Because as you could probably tell over on this direction, it's pretty bright outside. And I mean really bright. If I pull up the blinds right now, which are still going to be shined in by the lights from the sun itself, the photon rays, UV energy that's coming by from there, are certainly going to start crawling in here. Even if there is a large blockade going through it, like the solid blindfold that's pretty much above it. But in general, the sun, at the same time it does have a lot of advantages for us, it also has plenty of disadvantages for us. For instance, a solar flare, which can be flung around by the sun's energy in the corona layer, can simply put be a devastating effect to our planet itself. It would act much like an electromagnetic pulse wave, which would simply short out any sort of electronics and the like that we so depend on all the time. Especially when it comes to keeping our food fresh, when it comes to powering up our internet, which is a great way of simply getting ourselves the info that we need, and many other things that take place. Solar flares and EMPs are both equally as horrible, but of course there's a better chance of an EMP happening than a solar flare. But in the event that a solar flare does take place, it would still be pretty dangerous. Of course, that's why we will in fact try to do what we can to simply go back to the old days before electronics were even invented. I know I'm going to do my part in that whole thing, and that is exactly why a series like Survival of No Limits will be coming soon on my channel next January. So that way you'll get to know the basics of survival itself like no other. But anyways, the sun itself is a double-edged sword. Kind of like science, kind of like evolution, kind of like mathematics. Because there are two different directions you could generally go through each and any of these. Life itself does have two different directions as well. It has the ability to stay alive even during the most frigid and awful of conditions that the world itself throws down upon you, or the other way around, death. That's the only other way to simply go through it. So of course, I might as well just stop there at this point. But if you want to see more, go down to my channel though. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.